A billboard is calling out Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. And I'll show that to you in just a second. Then we'll get to an MSNBC host just absolutely demolishing Trump on this same issue that you're about to see. So let me read some reporting on this first, and then I will show you the billboard. The Democratic National Committee, CNN reports, is launching a billboard campaign in Northwest Georgia Saturday, attacking former President Donald Trump and his allies in Congress, such as Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, for blocking a bipartisan deal to secure the U.S.-Mexico border. Quote, Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene have no interest in making our country safer and securing our border. They only care about gaining power to pursue their extreme and unpopular MAGA agenda, DNC Rapid Response Director Alex Floyd said in a statement Saturday. That's why both Trump and Greene put politics ahead of border security by blocking the toughest, fairest border deal in decades. And you have Newsweek reporting on this. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene targeted in billboards paid for by Republican group. These must be two separate billboards, but we'll see one of them in just a second. So here it is. The Biden-Harris HQ account is highlighting it. And written on the billboard is next to the photos of Marjorie Greene and Trump. Who tanked the toughest border deal in decades, it asks? These two with their photos. And then a Vanity Fair quote is there. House Republicans are promising to blow up border deal for Trump. Now, I have a lot to say, so stick around for it. But first, I want to let Joe Scarboro from Morning Joe speak on this, because the other day he discussed what Democrats should be doing in his mind, and then I'll respond.
If I were a Democrat running for office, I would do this. I would be carrying this around all day. Look at what the Republicans are doing to you. Look what Donald Trump's doing to you. Donald Trump said, and by the way, this is for you at home. So come to the at-home camera, TJ. Thank you. God bless you. So good at this. And to think you just started last week. So I'm joking, TJ. So, TJ, can I get a TJ cam? I hope TJ's in.
Not yet. Not this second.
Okay,
oh,
good.
Wow.
Okay, good.
He's not feeling pretty.
He's in his underwear. Right. He's in his underwear at home. He got one of those things at home. I was afraid I was like picking on a director that mattered, but no, TJ's there. So TJ's been with us for 20 years, by the way. He's family. But I
can't get rid of him.
I would carry this around because see this onslaught headline? The only thing the Post didn't tell you is Donald Trump said, blame me for this. Donald Trump said, kill the bill and blame me for everything that happens after this point. Donald Trump said, blame me. So yes, Donald, we are blaming you. We're blaming Mini-Me Mike Johnson for following your orders. We're blaming Republicans who begged for a tough border bill, but like the Wall Street Journal editorial page said, couldn't take yes for an answer. So yes, there is an onslaught in the southern border still. And it's all Donald Trump's fault. You know who says that? Donald Trump. Donald Trump says blame him for this. So we will.
And so what he's referencing there is Trump did out and out say that he's the one who blew up this border deal. Now, he wouldn't admit that he's to blame for the issue to the southern border, but he would definitely say he's proud to have killed that deal. And I'll just remind you before going any further that conservative senator from Alabama, James Langford, helped to write this bill. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed it. And interestingly enough, do you remember Katie Brent? Mr. President, I wrote a border deal and then I blew it up. And if you can even imagine such a thing, you remember her, Katie Brent? So she also helped to write this bill. Then she opposed it because Trump told her to. So it was a deal that had all these wish list items for Republicans. One thing that I've been pounding the drum on is they say a top priority for them is trying to stop the flow of fentanyl into the country. And we should work to do that because fentanyl is hurting and killing so many people. This deal would have provided resources to install these state-of-the-art fentanyl scanners that would be currently preventing fentanyl from getting across the southern border, specifically at legal ports of entry, because that's where the majority of fentanyl gets through, contrary to many of the claims of Republicans. And it would help to catch these smugglers and the fentanyl they're trying to bring. And the scanners are there. They're ready to go. They just have to be installed, but you need extra money and capabilities to make that happen. And that would have been provided to the Border Patrol if this bill had gotten through. So now they're just sitting there, not being used, and extra fentanyl's getting in the country because of it. Because of MAGA Republicans killing the deal. So that's just one example of the broader implications of this deal not getting through. And again, it is, as the billboard says, one of the most aggressive actions on the border that we would have seen in a very long time, in decades. And so I think it's correct for Democrats to go on the offense a little bit. And to be clear, Democrats need to not just become Republicans in their rhetoric about the border. That's super, super important, because we should not become vile in the way we speak about human beings like Trump and MAGA are. And so understanding that is important, but it shouldn't dissuade us from talking about the subject altogether. And I think sometimes, because this has become a Republican issue, because they're obsessed with fear mongering about it, that frightens Democrats from even talking about this issue or the broader immigration conversation, how we can improve and make more efficient that system. And that shouldn't be the case. We should talk about it. We should be on the offense, because as Politico recently reported, Democrats' disapproval of U.S. handling of border hits highest point of Biden's tenure, report finds. This is an issue really hurting Joe Biden, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't hurt him, because while he is the president, as we all know, as Trump knew, at least when he was president, to address long-standing, complicated issues, these logistical and humanitarian problems, you have to have help from the lawmaking body. You have to have Congress on board with helping. And that's what we almost got. It seemed like this deal could get through until Trump went, wait. I don't want solutions. Hey, Marge, kill it. And then MAGA did just that. Mike Johnson refused to even bring this to a vote on the floor, because it would have passed the House. But he didn't want to bring it to the floor. Because as I've said before, if they're running on Joe Biden's open the border or whatever, and then Biden can point to a bunch of them working with him on things related to this issue, it doesn't hit as hard, right? But then this gets to one of the really sad aspects of politics, just all of it, okay? Which is that this won't make that big of a difference. Think about how sad that is. You have all of these Republican voters who have been saying for years now they want action to address issues at the southern border. Now, again, part of the issue is we disagree on exactly what should be done. And there are some extreme, horrible proposals coming from the far right extreme. But you also have more moderate Republicans who can have more reasonable conversations about what actually should be done. And now they're willing to continue advocating on behalf of the same exact politicians as they were before, even though they just watched supposedly their most important issue be breached by those politicians, and the goal they've had on this issue violated by those very politicians. But still, they're still better on the issue. Because, as I'll say to you so many times, much of politics, it's not about facts. It's about stuff in here. It's about the fifis. That's what it is. And we just have to understand that to be able to respond properly. And it feels, because of the media that these people consume, that many people consume, it feels like Biden's the one to blame. It feels like the Republican Party wants to get serious about these issues. And in reality, Republicans really love fear-mongering about it, not really doing much to improve our southern border or our immigration system more broadly. And clearly right now, some moderate Republicans and Democrats are the ones who are actually wanting to do things. And so to Joe Scarborough's point, this issue just should not be hurting Democrats as much as it currently is. And Scarborough made that point in a pretty blunt way in how he was messaging. But in whatever words work for Democratic leaders going into this election, they need to be on the offense and make clear we have a vision for what we should do going forward on this issue. We have a superior vision compared to Republicans, and we're actually serious about addressing issues, not just fear-mongering about people and making a long time broken process and system better, fixing it. Again, not making the priority freaking you out all the time, but indeed addressing the issues if you are concerned about them. So we have a better message. People need to get out front on it more and not be afraid of talking about the issue. That's my takeaway from this. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.